What do you think about what Dr. Umar Johnson said? Do you believe that black women are masculine because the black man has failed?
No, black women are masculine for a lot of the reasons he said, but the main reason is because they made poor decisions in the men that they decided to have children with. So, more than half of us are single and childless. 30% of us are married with children. So it's a very small minority of men that are impregnating the 80% that have children out of wedlock. So how can 16% be fathers to all these children unless we have a bunch of step crash dummies taking over, right? Am I lying? Stop me if I'm lying. Stop me if I'm lying. So, secondly, Dr. Umar is this generation's Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson is single-handedly responsible for labeling us all as African Americans, right? In 1985. None of us got together. The elders didn't get together and say, "Hey, what do we want to identify as?" No, this nigga declared us as African American with no consultation with the body of people that were labeled black and Negro prior to that. So I ain't African American because I don't trust the Rainbow Push Coalition. We all know what the rainbow symbolizes now. We all see their agenda. This came out now. So no, Umar is an absolute agent. He's pushing Pan Africanism to get people off of the nationality train that the whole rest of the world actually functions on. So yeah, fuck Umar. He hasn't came out with his school. I tell the fat nigga to his face. Yeah, he is totally bad for our people. And I just I mean, I don't hate a lot of people. Actually, I love everyone, but I really dislike this dude because he's really taking advantage of and really just playing on the emotions of our
Yes.
people, and to just so he could basically make money. He's really just siphoning money off of the people who are disenfranchised. So
But I got to
uh
ask you this.
yeah, go ahead.
If Jesse Jackson was able to single handedly declare something and black folks went along with it,
It's black folks'
if
fault.
if I was about to say all these people, Black Lives Matter has been
Yeah,
able to get all this money off black folks.
yeah.
Al Sharpton, the Democratic Party, Dr. Umar and Tyreek, they've all been able to just
Yep.
say any fucking thing and black people win it for it.
Ti-
I do not blame the leaders. I always blame the followers. What say you?
no, I totally agree with
I'm going
that.
to let them see again what Dr. Umar Johnson said and why I have a problem with it. Here it goes.
Now deal with masculine women, women with children.
Why
by
is
other
she masculine? Because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman,
So you mean
brother.
to tell me
a whole community.
So you mean to tell me
Not one woman, an entire community had to raise the kids alone. Go ahead.
Tommy, what about, well, okay, so the project buildings, right?
Mhm.
Who ran the projects? Who was on the lease of all those project buildings? It wasn't none of us. It was always them, because we couldn't get any of that
Yep.
affordable housing at all. It was always them. So black women have always ran the hood and ran the projects. It was always them.
Yes.
And then they raised the people to terrorize the community.
Yep. They're not pointing out, and it's what I've always told y'all. Have y'all noticed everything I've said has come to pass? I said black women, when they call themselves goddess, I can believe it because typically when you talk about a god gets all of the credit for the good shit that happens and none of the blame for the bad shit. Black women, whenever something good happens with their children, they bring up how they were able to raise this child alone. Whenever something bad happens to that child, they bring
I,
up
I didn't
how
have
they
no help.
didn't have a man. Didn't have no help. Somebody asked, does Dr. Umar Johnson have children? Yes, that's the problem. He has multiple children by multiple women. So how is he saying
He's the
this?
16% that I was talking about earlier. And again, to deflect from all that, he said, why is she masculine, brother? In that preacher tone. He
Yes.
irritates me, bro.
So if he knows this, why did he contribute to this? Because he's not saying, you remember, black women can't trap you. It ain't their fault they got pregnant. It's our fault. Have you noticed you do not hear black women en masse talking about these black men are not being with us and we want to. Our baby's daddies wouldn't marry us and we wanted them to. When's the last time you seen a black woman say, my baby daddy wouldn't marry me and I wanted him to marry me? Seriously, when's the last time you saw this? When's the last time you seen a black woman begging her baby daddy to be in a relationship on Instagram, but he don't want to be?
I don't need that nigga.
Yes. You always hear them talking about every nigga that fucked me still want to fuck. Every nigga that was with me want to come back. So there's a gang of niggas from their standpoint, from their own words, that want to be with them, but they don't want to be with those men. And the man asked a simple question. So I have to date a masculine woman? And his response is, you
with
got
children, with children too.
Yes, with children, yes. He said a masculine woman with children. And this man gives an excuse of why this masculine woman has children. And he says, oh, she wasn't masculine and got the kids. She became masculine after she had the kids.
The only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men.
No,
that's what I have to look forward to.
But I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children.
Don't generalize me, Umar. That's not all of us. That's you and the 16%. Not us. Not us. It's you and the 16%. Not the majority. Not some. A minority.
So if she became masculine and we don't want masculine women, and you're saying they became that way because men fucked them and left them.
Okay, what Dr. Umar said, I think there's some truth to it. I think as far as the whole accountability thing, I think what's happening is two black men, since we are so quick to, point out the issues to black women, we are also losing accountability ourselves. You look at when women become masculine, it's typically from the lack of respect that they have for that man in whatever the situation is. Now, for example, when you look at what black men, even when black men date out, black men date Asian women who are typically known for not being, they've eventually become
not being what? Because your mic is going in and out. You said they're typically known for not being what?
Asian women aren't typically known for being masculine, but even when they black men, they become that. White women become more masculine when they're dating black men. Latina women become even more masculine than when they were dating black men. Can you
give me some example of them Asian women becoming more masculine dating black men?
Jeannie Mai.
Jeannie Mai?
Yeah, Jeannie Mai.
Jeannie Mai became masculine when she was with that white man, which is what happened with their relationship. She divorced. Do you understand that she divorced a white man before she got with him?
Well, divorce isn't a masculine thing if she initiated divorce, but her action.
No, she punked that white man though.
Right.
She literally used to punk that white man.
She was already masculine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Americanized.
And I really want to know what makes her masculine is from your standpoint of what she was doing with Jesus that made her masculine.
Bashing him online, putting stuff on IG and trying to make him look bad.
Oh, that doesn't make her masculine. By that logic, a lot of the white women have been masculine when they tried to get the upper hand on these men in divorces as well. White women, one of the things that white women try to do, they will say that they almost all of them, when they get in divorce, they say they've been abused. The men getting these women pregnant, it's a small amount of men getting a large amount of women pregnant.
Right. And crazy.
It's not 50-50. It's not one chick for one dude. Nope.
15 to 80.
Right. And I mean, this gonna kind of go a little personal, but that makes sense because my mother's father had 10 kids, and like he had 10 kids with his wife, and he had 10 kids with another woman that wasn't his wife. So it's like 20 kids are taken up just by one man.
Damn. Hey,
He
when I
can't
did
be
the
at
whole
all
thing
of their
about
baseball
Tennessee,
games at once.
when I did the whole thing about Tennessee, it was the 3 fathers, and they had a total of 87 kids, and they had them with I think it was 46 women, something like that. The number of kids was in the 80s. I don't forgot now, but the number of women was in the 40s. But
No, I
the
remember
number
you
of
bringing that
men
up.
was only 3.
Yeah, I remember when you brought that up. Yes.
So how's that possible?
No
And it's
idea.
not like they did not know. They knew him. As a person just wrote, Shawty Lowe had 10 babies mamas, and they were all willing to go on the show. But again, they didn't go on the show to say we're all 10 dating him and living in the house with him and just making it work.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that, which I don't understand. If all of y'all gonna fuck him, why don't y'all try to build a society together?
I agree.
That's how polygamy is supposed to work. Is everybody in the household, all the women working together for the betterment of the children.
Well, you said
And
that's how polygamy is supposed to work, but you got to be doing polygamy. They're not doing
yeah,
polygamy.
you're right.
What they're doing
They're
is
practicing it though.
well, no, they're just practicing adultery and whoremongering.
Agree.
That's what they're doing. I might have a bunch of TVs in my house, but if I went and got them from Best Buy and then pay for them, I'm practicing theft. That's not hoarding. That's theft.
Not in California.
You know what I'm saying? It's still theft. They just not gonna prosecute. They said it's theft, but you can get away with it. That's like it's like a weekend pass when you're in a relationship. That's what California give motherfuckers, a weekend pass. Listen, let me tell you what Dr. Umar Johnson's trying to prove. He understands that what a lot of people have understood, the Democratic Party has understood, pimps understand. Black women have low self-esteem, and it's easy to get them by lying to them. It's hard to get them by telling them the truth, which is why you even see men get mad at me when they'll say, well, how did you speak so harshly and still got a chance to fuck a black woman? In their mind, they're saying that should not happen. That's why you'll watch them. They will say those women stupid listening to me. Or they'll call a woman a pick me for listening to a man talk about the shit that's wrong with women.
All right. So based off this Umar topic, what I'm hearing is he's just talking out the side of his ass. I'm like, you're not holding black women accountable for being masculine, but I'm like, at the same time, it's the black men's fault that these women are masculine. But notice, a large percentage of black men are not making babies with these women. It's only a small percentage.
Yep.
So basically, these women are sleeping with the same dudes. So how is it collectively black men's fault these women are masculine?
Facts, Lauren.
I can say for a community, we have a community, but guess what? It's women ran. The women are running the black community. The men are not. And this has been like this for decades.
Yep.
Umar has been building this school for how many years? He's been calling this school the FDMG.
He's been doing it since Buck was a heifer.
I think I was around 13, 14 when he started building that school, when he brought that up. I'm 25 now. I haven't seen a school yet.
It ain't that hard to start a charter school either.
It's not hard. David, what's the guy that played for the Spurs? It was in the Navy.
David Robinson.
David Robinson started a charter school. David Robinson started one. So I'm like, with all this money, Umar has got, there's no excuse that this school shouldn't exist. It was supposed to be the FDMG, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. I said what FDMG stands for. Fam, the money gone. That's all.
He traveling with it.
Fam, the money gone.
Facts.
And this guy will actually get up there and shame black people for not donating. He did that at one of his summits. I saw. He shamed black people for not donating more money. Now, just look at this.
Oh yeah, I remember
Black
he went
people
at
would rather
the
give their
celebrities. He said more celebrities should have been donating to him, just stupid shit. And this is the same man that had the nerve to talk about. You remember he went out at Kobe Bryant's wife. That was one of the lowest things I seen him do.
That was the lowest thing he could have done, because what has Vanessa Bryant ever done to black people or anybody in the community? Vanessa has actually given money back to the black community.
Sure
Vanessa
has.
donate, and
Sure has.
you never heard anything about Kobe's wife, not once.
She
But
has
you
never
go around and look at
embarrassed
all
this
these other
man.
celebrities.
Never.
She's never
Never.
embarrassed this man
Never
while he was
embarrassed this
alive
man.
and since he's been dead.
But ask yourself this question, Tom. Why doesn't he go at these women that are with these guys, the black women that are with some of these celebrities now, that are publicly embarrassing them now out in public?
Hell, why doesn't
He
he
doesn't
go at some of these,
go at
wait
them.
a minute, how about, hold on. Why doesn't he go at some of these black women who are married to these white men? Why isn't he telling them how much money they should be giving of that white man to the black community? Since you remember, their argument is always when a black man marries outside of his community, the money goes to another community.
But guess what,
So
Tommy?
if that's the case, and nobody will ask Dr. Umar Johnson this simple question: why is it that these black women who are married to these white men aren't funneling a bunch of money into the black community? He doesn't ask Eve, who's married to a billionaire, why they aren't funneling a bunch of money into the black community. He doesn't ask the first lady. He does not first lady, but the vice president. He doesn't ask her why she's not funneling that white man's money into the black community. He doesn't ask Serena Williams why she's not funneling that white man's money into the black community. She never asked, and you can ask any of them. None of y'all ever asked the right questions that I'd ask, which is why he won't come talk to me. I'd ask, since you keep talking about bunny hopping, and bunny hopping's a problem, great. Tell me why Venus Williams has not funneled her white man's money into the black community. Tell me why you can't name a black woman who's funneled their white man's money into the black community. Hell, this woman married the prince over in another country. Has she funneled any of the prince's money in the black folks' pocket?
Meghan Markle. Yep.
No, Meghan Markle has not funneled anything. Serena Williams hasn't given anything, and none of them. And guess why they won't ask this question? It's because you can't ask them without getting a rebuttal from being called a self-hater or you're hating and all this and that. I think most people don't want to ask that question, especially in the black community, because they don't want the pushback. Because they're going to get blamed for still dating out, and they're going to always say black men date out the most. Okay, yeah, we do, because we have the option. Black women don't have the option that black men do to date out. It's a rarity, actually. They always want to bring up the interracial marriage divorce rate between white men and black women, because the unions rarely ever happen.
Look on the screen.
In Umar logic is
that's
supposed
great
to be
point.
What about this? Ask yourself this question. What about back in the days when, I would say colonial times, when the women would go and, say during war, they would send their men off to war, and those men died, and they have to be left to raise those children by themselves? Were those white women back in the day called that?
Think about it. I've always asked that question. During war. I said during World War I, World War II, all of these wars, you don't hear these women saying they became masculine because the man wasn't there. Like they
look at the Ukrainian-Russian war.
Those Ukrainian women are still feminist.
they
500,000.
Get them.
Yeah,
so this is the question.
And look at it. They act like white women don't have, like white men have never left their husbands. I mean, their wives. White men have never left their wives. That's a lie. They have. So why is it you don't hear white women who are single mothers saying, I am a man now. I don't know how to act a female. If you look at, I always bring her up. She's fine. Raquel Welch. Before Raquel Welch became a model, Raquel Welch had 2 children. Her husband left her. She had 2 kids. You know what she never became? A man. Ben Affleck left Jennifer Garner. You know what Jennifer Garner never became? Man.
Never.
Right.
Hell, look at Britney Spears. She crazy. She didn't turn into a man.
But men still want to marry her. After all
Yeah,
that
but I'm saying she
conservatorship
didn't
and
turn
all the
into a
mental
man.
illness. Right. And that's why I say we never asked that question. And it's why do we never see other races of women get called masculine when men leave them? But somehow it's black men's fault that the black woman turns masculine when the baby father leaves them. No, they were
This
already
nigga
had a
made
masculine
this shit
mindset.
up. They never give any excuses. This was funny. They never give any excuses for their fathers. You know, they use slavery for the but think about it. They use slavery for the reason that a lot of women were at first they said slavery was the reason that black women were masculine. That's what's weird about Dr. Umar Johnson. One of the first things they said was the reason that black women were masculine is because of slavery, and black women had to do this. They even explained that the reason that black women beat their kids is to save their kids from the master beating their kids. But they would never give the black man any excuses. Now, I remember I would say, well, if that's the case, isn't the black man a deadbeat dad because of slavery? Why y'all never give him that excuse? Why y'all give all these excuses for other things except this? And then I pointed out, and now you have Dr. Umar Johnson saying that the women are the way that they are because the men aren't there. Well, by that logic, you'd assume that he'd say, and maybe the men are more feminine because they're being raised by these overly masculine women. Why won't he say that part? The excuse makes the person feel better about it. If my house is nasty and I can tell people, I got all this junk on here because they're doing remodeling. I don't have to clean up. That's what it allows you to do. And every time you come up with these new damn excuses, these newfangled excuses, you're going to get people who going to use them excuses. That's why I don't want to give people excuses. I don't see why people get mad at me. What the fuck I look like giving people excuses? Because if you give any human being an excuse, they're going to accept it. You can tell a nigga, I can tell the only reason you are single is because you can't find a bitch on your level. He going to be like, yes, that's exactly why I'm single. Tell a bitch that it ain't because your pussy too big and you been whoring. These niggas' dicks is too small. Yes, that's what it is. That's why you got to use your foot.
The fuck?
Bitch been used to fucking Sasquatches.
Use your foot. What the hell?
I'm just saying. That's what she'll say. Yeah, a woman will agree to that. If you tell her that these niggas' dick too little, that's why I'm having to use my foot. She'll accept that before she accepts her pussy too big.
Okay.
Wow.